Hey there, how's it going everybody? This is Boss Hoger, and as you can see I'm looking at speedrun.com here. This is the leaderboard for the Super Nintendo version of Joe and Mac. It's on a few different consoles. As you can see, I'm just pulling this up here to show you that as of the making of this video, my time is at the top of the leaderboard, and there's been a couple new runners pick up the game lately, and it just, sparked my interest, so I'm back. Not back, I didn't go anywhere. What I mean is I'm inspired to sit down and make this video I've kind of thought about for a while, of just watching my PB and giving a little insight into some of the less obvious tactics and stuff that I use. So here we go. I'm just going to start. I haven't really rehearsed this at all. So I'm also going to make this slightly informative to the person who doesn't know anything about the game, but not all that in depth. So it's a platformer that was originally an arcade cabinet title, but they made a game for the NES, the SNES, the Genesis, the Game Boy. Then they made a Joe and Mac 2 for the Super Nintendo only, kind of being a sequel to that one. There were multiple arcade games. So anyway, this is the Super Nintendo adaptation made by Data East Corporation. They're also the people that made Bad Dudes versus Dragon Ninja. You know, the one where you got to be a bad enough dude to save the president. Same company. So they made this game. We play it on easy mode. So all I do before I start the game is go into options and set it on easy mode, and then we're off to the races. So that's the first thing that happens. At this point, I'd been doing runs for a little while, I guess, and my legs were just needing a stretch.
Gotta stretch for a second.
So you just have the basic little overworld map where you select each level between, finishing them. So everything I've done here in level 1 is pretty routine, and it's all very deliberate. Setting up to get that fire, obviously, and tossing that fire when I do to kill it, dropping down here exactly when I roll and jump and all that. It's all pretty specific to just get through this level as quickly as possible. I'm sure we could optimize another second or whatever here and there if we were really trying, but the game's not at a point where optimizing it that much is really worth the effort at this point. With this boss, it doesn't matter what you do, every attack deals 1 HP of damage to it, so really as long as you're just hitting it as soon as its iframes are up, you're doing it right. Slight mistake there running into it. It doesn't really cost me much. Maybe half a second, because I could have gotten a killing blow in quicker there. Overall, this was just kind of a meh, like a solid B on level 1 for me.
Second and a half, really?
But this is nothing to even really worry about yet. It's just kind of slightly a bummer. So we go into level 2. The big thing we're hoping to see in level 2 is for a wheel to come out of this egg. And we got it. So that means the run did not, the run won't die to the big RNG killer early on. I'll actually get to see this run all the way to completion. Because, when we're good at the game, we don't run out of lives. The only thing that really kills runs is, not getting the wheels. So that was a pretty good level. There's not a lot to elaborate on in the platforming. Just kind of do as I do, find your way, do the thing that works, that's consistent, that lets you, spend the most time running, not jumping or attacking enemies. Just get behind the boss like you see there and wail on him. Big deal. Okay, with this, you should just accept that, I've not seen a route yet that gets up this tree without getting hit by a bee that is faster than what I'm doing here. I have a route that gets up without hitting a bee, but let me know if you find one that actually saves time. So with this boss, the idea is that you just want to be making fire contact with the boss's head. I messed up a couple times there by hitting the club against his head instead of the fire, and also by just outright missing the timing and stuff. So I didn't quite get the 1 cycle kill that we hoped for, but I got good RNG, so I didn't get punished. had we not gotten the wheel in level
Yeah,
2,
man,
we
you
would
gotta
need
match.
the wheel right here in order
Curling
for the
wheels is
wheel
just
for the run to not die. Since we already have the wheel, it doesn't matter. This is the big long auto scroller that the designers gave us speedrunners because they love us. Not only is it an auto scroller, but there's such an abundance of health to be picked up in this level that it's just really trivial and completely unnecessary. You know, it is possible to fall into a pit and die. It is possible to, you know, be low on HP because of this and that and then die.
Throw
But
them a lot faster when you're in the air.
more or less, this level is just like check out of the game and take a bite of your sandwich
like
or
when you're standing on
whatever.
the ground, he always does the full motion of like.
I'm so glad that I point this out in the world record run. This makes me happy. It's one of the things that I don't cringe when I look back on me saying it.
But in the air, when you're mashing it, if the wheels are hitting stuff and you're just mashing it really fast, his club just stays backwards.
It's good information. If you're trying to spam, it happens faster if you're airborne. So, yeah, not a lot to say about this. Just practice getting used to the physics of the wheels, how far you can throw them, how fast,
Now,
the
once I get a
height
PB
that
with
the
a,
birds,
9
you
for
know,
9
fly
with a
at, stuff like
T-Rex,
that.
That's gonna be sad to go up against.
So this fight is just all about careful positioning and timing and throwing your wheels to maximize the chance that they hit one of these enemies as they pop up out. But you don't know when they're going to jump out, and you don't know if they'll jump at the same time or, you know, apart from each other in a group, high, low. So you have to kind of just position yourself and your wheels to maximize the time. Man, that would have been real sweet if it had jumped out on the left side there, but it gave me a little bit of a tease. But overall, that is just a very solid fight with above average luck and solid execution, no bad mistakes, and no really painful long RNG sections waiting for them to jump out of the water. Now, this run, you will notice, this took place before I discovered that leaving yourself at the top of the screen here is faster because it despawns the pterodactyls sooner. I thought pulling down to have it drop you on the ground as soon as possible was going to be a time saver, but no. You actually want to hold up at the bottom as opposed to down so that the pterodactyl is gone faster. I got the faster of two possible patterns here, and I almost screwed it up.
Ooh, that was close.
But didn't.
That's actually better than if you kill him sooner.
So far, everything in this run has been like a really solid like A-. Nothing has really gone wrong. I haven't made any embarrassing or critical mistakes. None of the RNG has been annoying. So like anytime I'm this far into a run and nothing is like standing out as bad and I have a wheel, I'm feeling good. But this is really just meaning I'm feeling good in the sense of like I have a chance to have a run now. Not really like, oh yes, this is awesome. More just like, okay, now we have something to be interested in. Let's see how this goes. This was all just an extremely well executed level. It's not 100% perfect to what I set out to do, but that route was very, very deliberate, and I executed it quite well. There at the end, I'm getting hit and tossing wheels at specific places and times in order to have certain numbers of sprites on screen at different times so that I make sure that the 1-up spawns in the place that I want it to without having to waste much time.
I had to take a death there.
If I could take one thing that I said in this video, like off the air, you know, and not have it plastered up at the top of the leaderboard by virtue of being in this run, it might be what I just said there about taking a death to save time. I make a way bigger deal out of it in this video than what it really is, and it sounds significant. And new people come into the game and they run it, and I hear them talk about that and stuff, and I cringe every time because it's not actually all that significant. I didn't know a whole lot at that point, I guess. I've definitely changed up my approach to this fight since then. I would stand on the left side now, closer to underneath its head. This is the part of the run I really hate. I should have been able to kill this guy easily before he goes off screen. That jumping across made no sense at all. It was a completely dumb decision. But it's fine.
I mean, it definitely wasn't a bad fight. It wasn't like a...
It's not like it was a reset fight.
It was just sloppy.
But yeah, that's like the easiest...
yeah, hey, Devious. I've had some good runs.
You know, just free time to get back from this run, I think.
2105.
This level is deceptively nuanced in the platforming. It looks like nothing in the platforming is all that challenging. What's difficult about this is that there's a lot of motion and whatnot going on. There's a lot of activity in this level, and the game likes to lag a lot. So getting really good at that level means repeating it so many times that you get intimately familiar with when the game will lag, and then you adjust your route to those specific moments when you know as soon as I hit that spot on the platform, the game's going to lag for a second. And so you kind of route around it. So it's a lot more nuanced than it probably looks like. So here I'm trying to get the one of the few, you know, glitches or exploits, whatever you want to call it, that we have found in this game is that if you are attacking the boss as soon as it re-enters its vulnerable state, you can get a cheeky hit in that does a full 3 damage as opposed to the 1 damage it's supposed to do as being restricted by the boss type. And in this fight, I only missed one opportunity.
8 out of 9, PB.
So generally, you know, if you miss that trick, it's 4 wheel hits to, you know, remove a bar of its health. But if you get the trick in, then it's only 2 wheel hits to remove a bar of HP. So it saves you 2 little, you know, damage animations, damage cycles every time you get that trick. And there's 9 opportunities to get it. So 8 out of 9 is, you know, you're feeling really good. And I absolutely aced the beginning platforming in this level, and I can't I can't overstate how satisfied I am with it. It's actually, you know, I'm not claiming that the route I take in the beginning of this level is super duper optimal, but what I'm claiming is that I perfectly achieved what I set out to do, and it's actually deceptively difficult. The timing of those jumps early in this route is
I don't even know what the worst.
Quite difficult to get used to. Every single one of them is tight. The hitboxes on those tiny little baby dinosaurs and on those columns of fire are both very, very finicky and annoying. And one of my favorite things about this entire run is how well I did the platforming in this stage, because I practiced this level a lot. So I'm just so glad that this good of a run of this level is what made it into the into my world record.
Oh, you've got like 3 out of 5 good patterns or something.
And this guy, there's just nothing we can do. He's just a boring RNG roll.
He's explained it to me a dozen times too, and I just don't retain it.
Yeah, that compulsive rolling back and forth is what I did to just cope. That's how I occupied my time. So at this point, so yeah, I had a really good split against the Gray T-Rex, and you notice it went from red, it was all red, 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 green. And it'll never go red again for the rest of the run, and I kind of like that split. It just goes from all behind to all ahead.
Time loss. Wait, maybe not.
Put on display my utter failure at double-digit
Might be gold.
addition and subtraction.
Nope. Whoa! Whoa!
I was still surprised that
Okie
that
dokie.
wasn't gold, being 4 seconds faster.
I'm fine with that.
I made a slight screw up there that stopped me from getting the 1-up, but I didn't need the 1-up, so it didn't really cost me much. This level is tricky because of this game's depth of nuance, to where every little mistake you make causes different sprites to spawn or not spawn. And in this level, there's the rolling caveman and there's lightning, both of which add a lot of variance.
Oh, we want that too. That's his quickest.
No, we
damage
don't.
pattern, I'm pretty sure.
This is an example of me showing off my ignorance, like speedrunners love to do in runs that will be viewed for years. We don't want that pattern. It is the quickest damage animation. However, if you get that pattern, it means you did less damage to him than you could have done to him. So it's not exactly what you want to see. But I didn't know any better.
Dang.
So at this point, we're going into the final, world map stage, and we're ahead. So I'm feeling pretty good. I'm hoping for a 24x out of this. That's like, if everything goes just right, I'm thinking I can get, sub 2050. I can get the 24x. That's what's going through my mind right now. Spoilers, to this day, I've still never seen a 24x. Not one. I mean, Master of Hilarity has one, I think, but I don't have one. I've never logged a 24x.
These damn pterodactyls, dude. What is their problem?
On this fight, I've since entertained the idea of boomerangs instead of bones. One is not necessarily better than the other. The boomerangs may actually be preferable because they cover more ground. They're on screen for longer and stuff. But I think it's just a matter of taste whether that actually makes it better or not. I didn't say much about the platforming in this stage, but it basically just comes down to pits of death. Don't fall into the pits of death. Take your time to make sure you avoid falling into the pits of death. And once you've cleared all the pits of death, you're very likely to beat the game. Just make sure you don't take damage after that.
I don't know this, but I think that this boss has more iframes than anything else in the game.
Like for me, at my level anyway, once I make it past the very last pit,
That's quite a tactic.
like the last bottomless pit, so I know I'm not gonna screw up and just lose a life out of nowhere. I have I'm pretty much guaranteed to complete the run and beat the game once I make it past that. Because if I need to fight off the last bosses and do the last levels without taking damage, I basically can. Obviously, it's going to be slower because I'm more careful, but when I was training myself up, I kind of made it my goal to always prioritize being able to complete the run no matter the circumstances. And then once I got to the point where I always knew I can finish this run no matter what,
See what the power of the
then I
Great
started
T-Rex is?
changing up
This is what
my
I've been
practicing to get better at different levels and stuff like that. And that's when I saved a whole lot of time grinding out levels 8, 9, and 10, and just really
try not to
tightening
die.
up my
That's good advice.
platforming. Rolling up those stairs is highly recommended. It works very well. Just do a full roll as long as it'll let you go, and it's pretty much perfect timing to get all the way up it.
Yes, I got that.
Nothing to say about that ending sequence there, except that's the way to do it. Watch closely and repeat it.
Now,
This little mini boss section where you fight
something
these
to say.
gray
just gotta finish it
head
out.
things, it's scripted, guys. Just do exactly what I'm doing. Just practice it until you get the timing down. You don't have to crouch. There's no reason I'm crouching other than it's just muscle memory. But yeah, you can do this with your eyes closed, guys. It's really simple. It's the exact same sequence every time. Just patience and repetition. And that's that. The lore of this game is so deep. We thought it was just some bogus Neanderthal nerds, but no, it was actually demonic possessed dinosaurs causing all this trouble. I actually have an unusually good RNG fight with the Red Devil, and I must say my performance is pretty good. I mess up a couple times in the whole fight, but I am more or less on point with this devil fight, if I do say so myself. And this attack where he comes over here and makes the rocks fall is pretty much what you want him to do just all the time. Because it's like a defenseless thing where he just lets you wail on him. Didn't even have to lose much time to kill the Mac clone there. Like, this is all really good. I'm not missing my wheels. I'm not throwing them away. I'm not having to lose time between attacks. I'm not having to go out of my way to dodge him. I mean, that was just a great fight. It's hard to ask for better RNG, solid execution.
Okay.
The Red Devil fight in this run is seriously overshadowed by the insanely triple S tier Blue Devil fight that I have.
Don't lose the wheels. Don't lose.
Just to put in perspective, someone recently tasked this game like in the year 2020, and my fight against this boss, compared to the task, only loses about 5 or 6 seconds. Okay, and you know, this is like a 2-minute fight, the majority of the time for like average RNG, and you know, someone of like relatively good skill but not like elite necessarily.
That could be huge.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's just like
really good.
a ridiculous example of broken RNG, like accelerating the world record of a game far beyond where it has any right to be at this point in time. It's very depressing. So the thing that's going on here is that he has a very time-consuming attack where he makes himself invincible for 7 seconds. And he has a 50% chance to do it on every cycle. In this fight, he goes through 4 or 5 cycles without ever without ever losing that coin flip that costs 7 seconds. And
oh my god!
On top of never losing that coin flip that cost you 7 seconds, I at the same time discovered for the very first time that it is possible to hit this boss 5 times in one cycle, and thus saving a whole cycle
Oh my god.
by doing that.
I knew as soon as
Like, it's not like I just got it for the first time in a run. Like, I discovered that it was possible on a run where I was already ahead of pace going into Blue Devil. And I got none of the bad patterns. And it was after just a absolutely solid run from start to finish, or from start to that point anyway.
That was
So
absolutely insane.
I beg you all, somebody please
God.
come dedicate yourself to beating this time so that I can have
Thanks, Zach.
that motivation to run again. It's a lot of RNG, but
Holy
it's
crap.
It's overcomable.
Dude, the last
This
thing
isn't
Flat
some
said before he signed that
SMB1
chat was,
situation where it's
you're
super
gonna,
optimized,
like,
guys. It's just gonna
beat
take
the crap out of this. You're going,
a
or no,
couple
what did he
thousand
say? You're
runs
gonna
or
break
something
this
like
record
that.
so hard
So
one day.
somebody, please come and get it.
Dude, I don't know if the game's dead. I wouldn't say that. I mean, all it takes is a very dedicated individual. And, this could be one of those things where someone figures out a way to, like, skip half the levels or something, and then the race is on again. Oh my goodness. Look at that split.
Thanks for watching, guys.